Hello! Welcome to 70 Years, 70 Muppets, a Muppet fan podcast presented by ToughPigs.com. This is the podcast where we celebrate the Muppets' 70th anniversary with 70 straight weeks of spotlights on our favorite Muppet characters, from the most popular to the most obscure. I am this week's host, Julia Gaskill. And the Muppet of the Week is Bobo the Bear, performed by Bill Barretta, making his world debut in 1996. And I can think of no one better to talk about Bobo than the fabulous, the fantastic, the phenomenal Matthew Soberman. All right, Matthew Soberman, thank you so much for joining me to talk about Bobo the Bear.
Yep, I got my jalapenos already. We are good to go.
Awesome. Do you have your tie? Your, just classic tie, like that Bobo always has on often?
Oh, yeah. Bobo is a bear of fashion.
He is. He's a classy guy. I love Bobo. Do you have any big, strong feelings on Bobo? Is he a favorite?
I mean, we were talking right before this podcast. He is probably, like yours, my favorite Muppet to come out of Muppets Tonight. I think
100%, yeah.
Bill Barretta just has found this realism, stupidity, but I wouldn't even say stupidity. Dumbness without stupidity. Sometimes he's a little clueless, but he's not stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's very grounded in a way. He's
yes.
like a guy you would meet in an office, that you would work with,
yes.
where he's got that kind of muted humor about him where he might say something that just you completely don't register as a joke, but he chuckles to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree. We were talking before this. Muppets Tonight, I haven't revisited it probably in 15 or so years. It's not my favorite Muppet production, but of all of the characters to come out of it, Bobo is definitely my favorite. I also think he probably is my favorite original character that Bill plays. He's just very lovable and gentle and...
Oh, yeah. Bill?
Yeah.
Bobo or Pepe? That's a good question.
I like Pepe a lot, but also Pepe has had many jokes that don't maybe land for me, whereas with Bobo, if he's got a joke that doesn't land, likely it's not going to make me cringe, would be the comparison. Gotcha. I do love Pepe, who's probably my other favorite character to come out from Muppets Tonight. But,
yeah, well, they're also the two that probably have had the longest tenure.
Yeah.
A lot of these characters have kind of fallen off over the years. Haven't really seen a whole lot of Johnny, Fiamma, and Sal for a while. Maybe Muppets Haunted Mansion, but that's about it. But
they're no Andy and Randy, but
no.
So I know we just did it in a previous week for this podcast. But Bobo has stuck around, and he's been in the majority of Muppet things that have come out since Muppets Tonight, which isn't the most, but it's still he's been around and popped up in a lot of the specials, the movies, little parts and bigger parts here and there.
Yes, and when it's a broader ensemble piece, you'll usually find Bobo somewhere.
Yeah, he pops up. Probably his two biggest parts would have to be in Muppets from Space and the 2011 Muppets, arguably. Where he plays a very similar character in both.
He was kind of in his henchman era. Yeah,
he's like the lackey to the villain.
And in between there, his being an assistant to Officer Meany in a Muppet Christmas Letters to Santa.
I was going to bring that up as well. It's smaller, both because, it's one scene, and also, Letters to Santa, I feel like I'm one of the few apologists for that, where I still watch it every Christmas and like it, and he's one of the better parts of that special for me. But it is the same role, where he's paired with, Chris Cooper, Jeffrey Tambor, and then also Nathan Lane, who are just it's been so long since I've seen Muppets from Space, but they're the villains, they're the antagonists of the whole thing, and then they're paired with this big, soft bear who, you might watch it and question, what is this guy even doing in this role? How did he get paired up with these guys?
Well, I think it works to undercut the danger of the villain.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of
that
it.
nothing really bad's gonna happen when they're their number one lackey is Bobo.
That's true. Well, and the thing that I forgot in space, he is named like Rentro,
Yes.
which I completely spaced until a couple of days ago. That's a choice that we don't really see often when like the Muppets take on different characters or roles. I guess with the exception of like, Christmas Carol or Treasure Island, but that's because those are straight up adaptations.
And yeah, it's weird because all the other Muppets in the film are playing themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even in like, the 2011 Muppets, he's still Bobo, and then also Uncle Deadly is Uncle Deadly. So that's interesting. When did Space come out in 2009, 2008?
Muppets from Space was 99.
No, 99. I'm mixing up my decades. Right, no, 99. When did Muppets Tonight end?
That would have been 98.
98. Okay, so it was literally like a year or so after they had ended. So
Yes.
this would have been Bobo's kind of foray into the big pictures. So
Yeah, this actually, I believe the puppet that became Bobo before he really became the
true.
before he became the character was in Muppets Take Manhattan.
You are correct.
Like
yeah.
he did have some experience prior to becoming the Bobo we know and love.
Right. He was in the hibernating scenes in
Yes.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
If I'm not mistaken, and granted, I did not watch this prior to the podcast, so it will be from memory. I believe he might be the one that shouts, I'm up, is it spring? As Fozzie learns that it's time to head back to Broadway.
That's possible. I also am not entirely certain. So, yeah, but this is his first movie as Bobo, and so I don't know if maybe they just were thinking about rebranding him, but Rentro is such a I don't know. He's such a Bobo.
I feel it's like one of those things where like Bill might have just picked it up and said, "Hey, I got something."
Yeah,
and
just trying something out.
Much like Elmo, found another life for this character that became so much more.
Totally, yeah.
I'm basically saying that Bobo and Elmo are the same character.
It's 100% the same character. They're so interchangeable. You could mix them up so easily.
Everyone remembers Bobo's World.
I would watch Bobo's World. I think that would be very charming and funny. He's great in Muppets from Space. Like, he's got one of the best moments, which is just him saying the goat.
The goat, yes.
The remote.
I was going to say that the timing on this week would have been great if it had been right after the screaming goat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is just a great line because it's just like this very serious fetch me the remote, and it's just like the perfect undercutting of that, just completely bringing the tension down.
Yeah. Yeah, those are my favorite Muppet jokes also, where like it's just perfectly placed, it's almost interrupting the scene before they go back into it, and it's just very charming and funny.
Yeah, the other two moments, probably two of my all-time favorite Bobo moments, are in Space. The bringing the sandwich to Gonzo, the whole that jalapenos song just gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
But and then of course the reveal that he's not as dumb as he looks with please load weapon, where he turns out he actually made sure that weapon would not fire.
That's right. Okay, it's been a few years since I've seen the movie, but I do remember. Yeah.
So we've got like Bobo the secret hero going on.
I know. He really gets a lot of chances to shine in that film.
Yes, he does.
I know that they put in some other Muppets Tonight characters in that movie too, so it did kind of feel like almost a testing ground of like, okay, we've been working with these characters. We've got Phil Van Neuter and we've got Pepe.
Johnny and Sal.
Yeah, they're both in that as well. So we're going to put them in this film, and it almost feels like they're trying to figure out who's going to stick.
Yeah, like who's going to become like part of the full-time Muppet roster.
Mm-hmm. And Bobo cleared it because we've gotten to see him in a lot more things.
That we have.
Yeah, then he came, back for Letters to Santa, playing the assistant officer Meanie.
Ring a ding ding ding.
Which, I mean, I'm a huge Nathan Lane fan. I have been since
the
a
two of them
small
together.
child. So, like, you know, the fact that Nathan Lane's done Sesame, so he's popped up with Muppet things before,
Yes.
but he's such a great fit. And he's playing, like, you know, he genuinely seems like a nice guy. So the fact that he's just playing this mean officer that got on the naughty list as a kid is...
But he's also good at playing those, like, jaded, cynical characters.
Really intense characters.
Yes, like, so I think he fits in well there, but he also knows it's a Muppet project, so you gotta go for the laugh.
Yeah, he's hamming it up. And I always think about how, like, you know, he's talking about as a kid he really wanted a bike, and he's going ring-a-ding-ding, and then Bobo's off to the side just whispering ring-a-ding-ding, and then they go back and forth a little bit before he tells Bobo to shut up.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean... But that's what Bobo's great at. He's great at playing off the energy. Like, you know, how do we make this moment funny? Bobo seems like he's a great character to improvise with.
Yeah, I had that thought with the goat line. I was like, I wonder almost if this was done on the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like something they would have put in the script, you know.
Absolutely.
I think Bill's almost all of the Muppet performers are great improvisers, you know. That's why watching them do interviews is often so fun.
Yes.
And Bill's really good with, like, you know, we've seen him with Pepe. We've seen him with even, like, Rolf. He's very good at just on-the-fly moments like that.
Of course. Yeah, and then we get we get him with Tex Richmond and Uncle Deadly.
Yeah, not only is he paired up with another kind of evil, mean man, he's also paired up with Uncle Deadly, where we hadn't really seen Uncle Deadly for a very long time.
Yes, I think this was kind of his big comeback.
It's such an interesting pairing. I mean, you know, we don't get, you know, we're going to get so much more Deadly in the 2015 series, where his character will get even more solidified, but it's so interesting for them to have chosen Deadly as well. Maybe because they had already done Bobo a couple times, they were like, we need someone else also in the mix.
I think they also, like, wanted to bring back an obscure Muppet that people might not remember offhand.
Yeah, that's true.
I can totally imagine an alternate timeline where it's Bobo and Angus McGonagall.
I don't know if I can. that would have been certainly a choice, and an entertaining choice, to say the least.
But to be fair, like, they make sense as the henchmen because you've got the gargoyle and this big, probably one of the larger main Muppets.
That's true.
Burly bear.
Yeah, that's a good point with Bobo. He is very, like, looming. He's a big puppet, and so he does kind of give off bodyguard a little bit.
Yes.
So that might also be part of it, which then juxtaposes his actual personality, which is just very, like, not silly, but just, like, laid back and, you know, good for a little laugh.
Like the Joker, like the class Joker.
Yeah, definitely.
The class clown.
Yeah, he's very, like, he's got a good, kind-hearted nature.
Of course.
And it does often soften, like, you know, all of the things that the people he's paired up with are doing.
Yeah, like in 2011 when he finds out the Muppets are reuniting and then they start singing together again.
Yeah, him and Dudley. Yeah.
Wow, that song's been in 3 different movies.
It has been in 3 different movies.
I think it might actually be in more movies than Rainbow Connection.
I was literally about to ask, how many movies has Rainbow Connection been in? Is it just the 2? Or, no, I mean, technically, we do get Constantine singing Rainbow Connection in Most Wanted.
That is true. We do get, and we also get
version.
archive footage of the Muppet movie.
True, yeah. Yeah. So those are probably Bobo's, you know, biggest on-screen moments. I know he's popped up in several other things, including the 2015 Muppet Show, which I have also not rewatched in a long time. I know he's there. You know, there's the moment of him giving Kermit the bear hug. It's probably the main thing I think about. And I was reminded that his daughter is, like, selling Girl Scout cookies at some point, and he mentions
there is a fundraiser. He is a parent, as we've learned, one of the few Muppets who have children.
And he mentions having a wife also, so, you know, I guess the question is that I guess nothing is really canon for the Muppets is the thing that's always discussed, and so
I mean, one could make the argument based on Bobo's history. His wife could be Cindy Crawford.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cindy Crawford episode, I guess we can touch back on Muppets Tonight. That's probably, would that be kind of his biggest, like, Muppets Tonight episode, do you think?
I would argue that's probably one of his biggest. I know it's probably the most Bobo-driven storyline. I mean, that and maybe the cameo show. Because I believe he's the one who accidentally kills... which guest star? Is it Arsenio Hall? That gets killed? That might be it. Okay. But, yeah, basically, yeah, Cindy Crawford... The Cindy Crawford is, as far as I'm concerned, his breakout role. And I think it's just so darn funny.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, from the hopeless pining, the 60s retro fantasy montage with Mickey Dolenz. Another favorite of mine is when he gets Rizzo to help him attempt to woo Cindy by feeding him lines, and of course Rizzo gets distracted, which turns into a disaster. I think one of the highlights is when Rizzo tries to tell him that, like, you are like the nuts and berries of the woods, and of course Bobo interprets that saying, a nut like you ought to be buried in the woods.
That's good.
And then, of course, when Rizzo's relatives come by with balloons, and, Rizzo asks to play with the balloons, and Bobo is telling this to Cindy Crawford. Your classic misinterpreted line. But yeah, it's just a really sweet, but also very funny episode.
And then the other Bobo thing, which I had seen before, but I completely forgotten about until rewatching it yesterday, is the Bobo auditioning for Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the Yoda audition.
I had completely forgotten about that, and that also gives me the vibe of, like, they just told Bill to have fun, and he's just kind of improvising, characters and lines a little bit.
Like, Bill is probably improvising with all his characters. Like, I know Pepe's in that too.
Oh, is he? Okay. I just watched the one with all of the Bobo moments.
Okay.
He's doing, like, Princess Leia. He's doing his, like, bad Yoda impression.
The Yoda one was the one I was thinking of.
They want him to audition as Chewbacca originally, and then at the end they do get him to do, I think, like, a not great Wookiee noise.
But yeah, I love that. And the good luck with your little space film at the end. Just shows you how just off the mark Bobo is. Just a little off, and it makes it so much better. Is there anything we missed?
I'm racking my brain. Those are, I feel like, all of the big ones that come to mind when it comes to him. I mean, he's got some good sound bites from the 2011 Muppets, So You Think We're Working for the Bad Guy is a classic one.
That is a great moment.
A good Bobo moment that's just, like, really on the nose.
Yeah.
I also love, like, his, like, sidebar almost to himself, maybe to Deadly, where he just says, love geriatric humor in response to Statler and Waldorf saying something. Just, he's always gotten little, like, sidebars.
That's what makes Bobo such a great character.
Yeah. You can really kind of just slide him in anywhere.
Yes, exactly. I agree. I can only imagine what they'll be sliding him into in the future. Because it always feels like there's room for Bobo in whatever they do.
I'm certain he was. He was in Haunted Mansion, right?
Yes, I believe he was.
Everybody was in Haunted Mansion.
Yes, that was another big ensemble piece. What part did Bobo play? Check. Hold for Muppet Wiki.
Hold for Muppet Wiki, the official soundbite of any Tough Pigs podcast.
Yes. Yeah, Bobo's in there. I don't think he necessarily has a particular I must be wrong. I don't remember what specific Haunted Mansion character he's playing. But I know he's in there.
He's probably a ghost.
Oh yeah, he's one of the ghosts, but I'm trying to remember if he's a specific Haunted Mansion character.
Was he not in? No, there is. Okay. I was going to say I don't see Muppets Most Wanted, but he's there. He was in Most Wanted.
He's back with Deadly during the wedding sequence.
That's right. Yeah, he wasn't in it as much as 2011, but they still, they got him in there.
Oh yeah, Bobo's. I found the picture of Bobo. I don't recall any particular. So he's wearing like a top hat and a red cape. I'm trying to think if that's a specific Haunted Mansion character. I feel like that might be from Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris. I feel like there might be a ghost that looks like that. Oh yeah, they're very somewhat similar. There is a phantom in Phantom Manor at Disneyland that has a red cape and a top hat.
Oh, good pull.
So I think that's who Bobo is trying to be.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the most part, since Muppets Tonight, he's been in at least, like, a small part in almost, like, everything else that's come out. He was in Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, Muppet Race Mania.
Yeah. Bobo fits in anywhere.
Yeah. He's, I remember, because I didn't watch Muppets Tonight when it first aired, but I remember being in high school when the Muppet YouTube, like, digital, they weren't digital shorts, but their YouTube videos started coming out. I remember him being in Bohemian Rhapsody. I think he sings Galileo. And
yes.
I guess I would have seen him in Muppets from Space because I did see that in theaters, but he's, even when, like, they kind of started having their resurgence, he was still there.
Yeah. You can't keep Bobo down.
No, I think he's here to stay at this point.
As long as Bill's there.
Certainly.
Yes, Bill, I think Bill makes that character work. I don't know if it would work with any other performer. I feel like that's sort of like maybe Bill's alter ego a little.
Yeah, I think that feels very accurate. Sometimes when there's certain Muppet characters, you can easily be like, I think a lot of the performers in what they are saying and how they're acting. And I bet that character is the one that Bill would relate a lot to. He's just like, he's around for a good time. He's funny, just great. Well, thank you for joining me to talk about Bobo.
Well, thank you for having me.
I never know how to end these.
Well, you folks have yourselves a nice day there. I think I'm going to go get some more jalapenos. So
all right.
I will see y'all around. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Matt.
70 Years, 70 Muppets is a Muppet fan podcast presented by ToughPigs.com. Hosted by a whole myriad of people and edited by them as well. Produced by Jared Fairclough. The Muppet 70 logo used with permission by the Muppet Studio with thanks to Danny Iglesias, Frank Reich Snyder and Lee Slaughter. Don't forget to follow ToughPigs.com on all social media platforms. You can support us by heading to patreon.com/toughpigs or buying a t-shirt at tpublic.com/toughpigs.